All right, section 6.3. We're going to be factoring, it says perfect square trinomials, but not all of them are perfect square. But I'm going to show you the list of steps that I've been using to factor trinomials. So if you go to our Blackboard course, you land on the Start Here page, go to Videos. You're going to go to Chapter 6 where we are posting the factoring videos, and I've uploaded a factoring trinomials worksheet or steps. So these are the steps. Seems like a lot, but I just tried to spell it all out so that you know exactly what to do. So the first step says we're going to factor out the greatest common factor if possible. If not, we're going to go to step 2. We're going to multiply the leading coefficient and the constant term. That's the first and the last number. We're going to ignore the sign. We're going to factor that number. If you use a calculator, here are the steps to do that, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to look at the second sign. It's going to tell us to either add or subtract to get the middle term. And then if we find those numbers, we're going to make two sets of parentheses. We're going to put the reduced coefficient in the front and an x or whatever variable we use. And in the back, we're going to put the two selected numbers, and the order doesn't matter. And then we're going to add the signs. The first sign is the larger number. The second sign, if it's positive, they have the same. The second sign, if negative, they have different. And then we'll reduce if possible. So these are all the steps. You can print this out, refer to it as often as you need. But I'm going to apply that to this first problem and just show you each of those things step by step. So this first problem already has like the problem started factoring, but we're not going to use that. We're just going to start from scratch. 3x squared plus 14x plus 15. So can I factor anything from 3, 14, and 15? I cannot, so that would be step 1. I can't factor anything and make it smaller. So step 2, first, last number, that's going to give us 45. All right, step 3 says to factor this number. All right, so 1 times 45, 3 times 15, and 5 times 9. All right, so there are some calculator steps. So if you have the downloaded calculator on your computer or the phone app, here's what it tells you to do. Turn it on. You're going to go to y equal up here. I'll clear this out. I'm going to type in the number that I want to factor, which is 45. I'm going to hit divided by, and I'm going to tell it divide by x. So the x button is this button here. It has like a x, t, theta, and n. Those are the letters that will be used depending on what mode the calculator in, but in the standard mode, it'll just pull up x. So the calculator is going to take 45 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to just keep changing the number, and it's going to give us all of them at once. So to see that list, you have to hit second, and then this button to get table. So second and graph to see the table. And we only want to look at whole number combinations. Can't divide by 0. That's why we get an error. 1 and 45, which you can see I have here. They don't use 2 because that's a decimal. 3 and 15, which I have here. 4 is a decimal. 5 and 9 will be it. If we keep going, 6 is a decimal. 7 is a decimal. 8 is a decimal. You get to 9, and it repeats the same thing 9 times 5. And so that's the end of your list. When you get to 15, it'll repeat 15 times 3, which we already have. So anyway, that's how you use the calculator to find your list. Okay, so what do we do with this list? Okay, the next step is to look at the second sign, which is a positive. I'm going to add to try to get 14. So do any of these numbers add to give us 14? 5 plus 9. Okay, so I find those. I write a circle, and that means it will factor. So I'm going to do two sets of parentheses now. I have a 3 up front. I don't know if it's 3 here or here. So in order to avoid the guessing game, I'm going to put a 3 in both. Now this is incorrect. but it is a necessary step. It will help us get the correct answer faster without having to guess and check. So you put that coefficient in both. You reduce the coefficient x and put one x in both. You put the 5 and 9 at the back. Again, the order does not matter. And then from here, we're going to put the signs in. So left to right, first sign is positive, the bigger number. Out of 5 and 9, 9 is bigger, so positive. Second sign is positive, that tells you they're the same. All right, at this point, I just need to fix what was wrong, so I got to reduce and just get rid of that extra factor. So 3 and 5 cannot be reduced, so I'm going to leave that as it is, 3x plus 5. 3 and 9 can be reduced. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so it just leaves me with 1x. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So at this point, we are done. And what you should do is FOIL it out and check to make sure you get what you started with. So 3x times x gives me 3x squared. 3x times 3, 9x. 5 times x plus 5x, and 5 times 3 plus 15. If I add 9 and 5x, 3x squared plus 14x plus 15. And you can see that that's the same, so it checks out. So they already had one of them, the 3x plus 5, so I just got to add the x plus 3.